They don't care about customer service. They don't do any real marketing to the West. They're really not trying to understand Western culture, which kind of creates all these other problems down the line.
The thing goes
Three biggest mistakes that Chinese companies make when trying to go abroad, when trying to get international clients, or when they want to go international. Well, thank you for being in the show. This is actually, you are the first guest that MrMAFAN has, because normally MrMAFAN just talks shit about everything, right? But in this case, you're gonna talk something real useful for the viewers and the people that actually want to know about businesses in China.
Sure.
Please tell us who you are and why you do, and of course give us your platforms, your YouTube channel and everything. It's going to be on the description, but regardless, just please tell the viewers what's going on with you.
My name is Rico Ngoma. I am the 25-year-old CEO of SourceFind Asia. We're a manufacturing consulting company. Our office is based in Guangzhou. I've been running this business for 2.5 years, and my business partner has been sourcing from China for 10 years. So we partnered up through a manufacturing community called Enter China. I have a podcast called the Made in China Podcast. We talk about business, manufacturing in China, and crowdfunding. That's been going on for 2 years. I think at this stage we have like 54 episodes up. I launched a YouTube channel as well, SourceFind Asia, on YouTube. Subscribe, check out some of our videos. On my YouTube channel, I talk about manufacturing more specifically, more in depth. I have a day in the life, day 1, day 2 should be coming out soon.
Standing in the fire, just to feel alive.
So you guys have seen me waking up early for the past 2 days. You've seen me going to factories. You've seen me dealing with my Chinese employees. You've seen me at the IFC Tower. You've seen me working late. But you might be wondering or asking, how did I get here? I'm not super successful, but you might be like, well, can I get there? Yes, not special. All this is just taking a chance, hustling, waking up early, going to sleep late, being disciplined, and that's something that you can develop over time. So that's it. It's 2 days in the life.
Soon, it just shows me doing my business in China. I talk about my manufacturing experiences. For example, in the summer of last year, we shipped out $2 million worth of fidget spinners to Walmart. I talked about that whole experience. I talked about spending 5 days. I recorded myself 5 days in northern China, living in a factory, basically. So that's kind of the content that I'm putting out there. Yeah. So check us out. I have a podcast as well, Made in China Podcast. And I like to do the deep dive interviews and just try to get to know people. So
3 biggest mistakes that Chinese companies make when trying to go abroad.
I've dealt with a bunch of factories, lots of trading companies in China. The first mistake, I think, is Chinese companies tend to not understand that customer service is super important in the West. So, when I'm saying Chinese companies, I mean mostly factories. So what tends to happen is if you work with a Chinese trading company, customer service is going to be a little bit better because they focus on that side much more. But when you work with a factory, the factory just wants to make things. They just want to make it. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to go back and forth and explain why they're doing things and why they price this like this and when this is going to be done and give you daily updates. They don't want to do that. They just want to make the product. So I think the first mistake that manufacturers make is not valuing customer service. And that's just a cultural thing. They just don't know that it would be much better for their clients, and they might keep their clients longer if they provide good customer service. The second mistake, I think, is they don't focus on marketing. It's kind of surprising, but they really just don't focus on figuring out how to market to the West. And I see a lot of factories and trading companies that are successful on Alibaba. So if you don't know what Alibaba is, it's a search engine for factories. A lot of factories that are successful on Alibaba, it's because they have a nice website. Which is actually kind of funny because sometimes you end up working with a bad factory because their website was impressive. So I look at some other really good manufacturers, but then you go to their website and their website is really shitty and rudimentary and it's very old school. So if they focused a little bit more on marketing to the West and improving how they present themselves online or creating an online presence, I feel like it would be very beneficial to their businesses.
Talking about that, yes, it is true that the website is like the first impression.
Yeah, it's like a business card.
Exactly, and
it's the modern day business card.
Or factories, they think that they must just have it.
Yeah.
But it's not just to have it. You gotta take care of it.
Yeah.
You gotta update it. You gotta change things once in a while and make it alive. And they don't understand that many times.
Yeah, it's. The website is usually the first point of contact that you have with a client. So the experience that they go through going through your website is subconsciously what they think they'll experience when they're working with you. So that's something that I think factories should focus on. The third point kind of summarizes the first 2 points that I made, which is that factories are not really trying to understand their clients, which is funny because if you talk about business 101, the first thing they're saying is understand your target market, like understand your customers, because then you know how to sell to them, you know how to provide them with the product or service that they want. And I think factories just don't have that understanding. So what tends to happen is, especially factories that kind of make new products, like they try to sell to the West, but they're not researching what the West wants. So then they come up with like weird products and funny toys that people don't care about. And then, of course, from the two other points that I mentioned is from the customer service standpoint, because they're not understanding the culture, they don't really focus on customer service. It is changing very slowly. I meet factory owners that are a little bit younger. I guess like they've taken over their parents' factories and maybe they've traveled a little bit more. They speak English. They've got a lot of foreign friends, so they're trying to understand the culture a little bit more. But it's a very, very slow process.
Anyways, see you guys soon.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Sure.
まだ命があるもの、それは持って帰るがいい。